Hello, welcome to a new video. Today is Sunday, 17th of September 2017. It is currently 13:38 Central European Time. This is going to be a very brief little video, and it touches on the topic of non-dimensionality, or as some people call it, zero-dimensionality. All the person's memories are actually not stored locally. They are in non-dimensionality. All truth, and I don't mean this in a theological, delusional mumbo-jumbo sense, I mean it in a scientific sense, all truth, such as 1 + 1 is 2, that is truth. All truth is in the non-dimensional. All knowledge is in the non-dimensional, and can be accessed by, not in a, oh, I'll just look it up, but the human brain is what taps you into non-dimensionality. Because there's biofunctionality that makes that possible. What you need to understand is that the universe, in its infinity, can perfectly fine differentiate between individuals. And here, we're getting to a bit of a problem for all those who create their freak-a-zoids, be they multi-parented freak-a-zoids or be they single-parented freak-a-zoids. Let me explain that to you. Let us ignore for the moment the question of how freaking obscene and thus bio-defect their brains, namely of the parents, or the parents' parents at this point, or maybe at this point already the parents' parents' may have been in the first place. Okay, so I can operate. It's not something active. It's something that just happens to be part of all life. By the way, all animal life, not plant life. All animal life. Every squirrel, every elephant, everything in their species, and not just in their species, but that's another topic. But let us ignore how obscene and thus defect the brains of Faex Mundi might have been in the first place, and how thus only to a significantly lesser extent their minds could have operated and tapped in and out of non-dimensionality / zero-dimensionality in the first place. The way this works is the universe can identify the individual, needs to be able to identify the individual, otherwise this whole thing wouldn't work, right? It is a given that the universe can identify the individual. When you say, let's take the case of Jeanette Kahn. Jeanette Kahn most definitely spawned freakazoids, at least one, maybe a single-parented freakazoid or several thereof, because you never know, just in case there's an accident or something. And who knows what multi-parented freakazoid maybe that she contributed to as one of the mothers, right? Now, the thing is, the way this works and the way the universe works is, for as long as Jeanette Kahn is alive, she herself and her obscene brain is already limiting herself in how much she can work the non-dimensionality. But all of her freakazoid offspring are actually completely blocked and barred from access, and thus, as foreseen by nature, mode of operation of the zero-dimensional. And if you think, well, but the moment Jeanette dies, then all her memories will be available to her offspring, namely her freakazoid offspring. Even if she had natural offspring, right? Natural offspring, that's another individual. Freakazoid offspring, we're talking about the genetic variety of the bio parts that are in your brain being limited. If you do a freakazoid semi or whichever degree of cloning approach, it's not even real cloning, but that apart. So if you fuckers think, if Jeanette Kahn thinks the moment she dies, all of her memories will be, all of her zero-dimensional non-dimensional content will be available to her freakazoids. No. Because the universe deletes, not the inverted comma, all of an individual's individual zero-dimensional content the moment they die. Which means that for as long as Jeanette Kahn is alive, all of her freakazoids are barred from working non-dimensionality, and the moment Jeanette Kahn dies, the universe deletes Jeanette Kahn's zero-dimensional content, and the freakazoids yet again have nothing to access and nothing to work. And the universe says to the freakazoids, You ain't working non-dimensionality because you're dead. I sorted you out. All of this as a result, this insight, as a result of, by the way, I should also point out, I've been trying to puzzle together the chronology of the schism, or maybe at this point schisms plural, in the not at all a church of Scientology, and the unbelievable back and forth movie making that the medias are doing all over the world and whatnot. Well, not all over the world, actually, mostly between parts of North America and Europe's part called France, formerly. But not just there. It does involve a couple of other territories. And I was trying to analyze what these idiots were thinking and how they'd be thinking and blah, 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 blah. And I arrived at the insight that if you, see, this is one of the things where you have to forgive me, world, not Faex Mundi, this I address the world. If you wonder why did it take me so long to understand this, this is one of these cases again. My brain isn't absane. You have no imagination how completely out of the way it is to stumble across the operating of an absane brain for a sane brain to grasp. Them being absane means they only have at best handicapped and very limited functionality with what to me is perfectly natural, because it is natural as foreseen by the universe of every sane person out there who ain't got defects in here, namely working the non-dimensional. They don't. What does that mean? A severely large part of how a person operates non-dimensionality is memory, actually, and I mean the ability to remember things. If that is damaged, that's not stored in here. It's not stored anywhere because it ain't data. I have explained this before. Non-dimensional content, zero-dimensional content is not data. I've explained that before. So I still use the word stored because it's easier to have this word for it, okay? They cannot store and retrieve memory as easy as I can and anybody else sane out there. In fact, they might not be able to do it at all for all practical purposes, or just in a ridiculously little degree and extent. So they would actually have to write down what it is they're doing, because they will not be able to memorize it. They will forget what they have done. In order to remember it, they have to write it down. And then you have people who think, namely other abstain people who think, oh, and then when you read it again, then you learn it and memorize it, and then you can go with a big fat black pen and just blacken it out that no one ever reads it again because you have now memorized it. Which of course you have not, because you cannot memorize it, because your access to non-dimensionality is completely fucked up. And the moment you think you have it down and you line it out and blacken it out on the paper, what somebody else recorded of past deeds and how stuff works and whatnot, all that knowledge that got lost that I constantly mention in the past videos, again and again, constantly, that knowledge is lost because you can't fucking remember it straight. You can't. You are not able to get it into non-dimensionality in the first place, and thus there is nothing for you to retrieve out of non-dimensionality in the second place, so to speak. Now, some of them probably understood that. I mean, not the scientific way that I explain it, right? But in some delusional, whatever, pseudoscience crap, figured there is such a phenomenon of not being able to remember it. So what they thought was, we're gonna put all that shit into movies. And so that people get it, we're going to make it wink, wink, nudge, nudge all over the place. Because no one can blacken out a movie. Because we live in a free world. Movies don't get censored. And it is not just written down in the possession of any one individual. No, it is there for all people to watch. All lurchies can go and watch their lurchy movies with tons of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just that, give it very brief time, and they will forget, be not able to remember that they have at all watched it. Which means, I bought a Nicolas Cage triple feature thing. One of them is called Bad Lieutenant, some story where he's in New Orleans as a cop or whatnot. I'm not even sure if Bad Lieutenant is the English original title or just the German title. Sometimes the German translations use English titles, but Bad Lieutenant movie, go look it up on IMDb. That was one of the movies that got made by the American Scientologists. The thing is, by now, because this movie is, well, a couple of years old, I'm not sure when exactly it's going to be, I think 2009-ish or something, or thereabouts. By now, they have probably forgotten that they made the movie. Which I mean, they have forgotten that they made this movie. And this is without any additional sabotage routines working in their heads to prevent the ability to memorize as they try to sick them on me. I'm not talking about memory sabotaging routines via the instrument technologies. I'm talking about their bio in the first place being fucked up. They cannot operate non-dimensionality. You have GoldenEye and you have Pulp Fiction. GoldenEye is the, oh, we're gonna kick them French them French Lafayette fuckers' asses. And Pulp Fiction is mission accomplished. You know, like Bush on an aircraft carrier, mission accomplished, a little premature. Why? Because they forgot that GoldenEye was completely ridiculous propaganda in there and nothing there beyond. And at a certain point, rewatching the movie, they thought, oh, someone, they don't understand that it was they themselves. Oh, someone has done that. Well, apparently, oh, well, Lafayette in France is gonna die now. Ha, it's time that we made a mission accomplished movie. And then they made the mission accomplished movie. Zed's dead, baby, Zed's dead. Just that by now, another 20 years later, they don't even remember that anymore. They cannot work non-dimensionality. The reason why practically every other movie made these days, and TV series and whatnot, is screaming wink wink nudge nudge, is because they desperately try to find ways with which they can remember, when their brains do not allow the working of non-dimensionality. But the real reason why I record this video was not really explaining it. I'll just explain to you this as a little addendum. The real reason was to point out to all of you fucking idiots of Faex Mundi who have your Freak-a-zoid kits created, if you delete about anything about having your memories then, or, well, living on, and that's part of your living on delusion, that you'd be having your own memories or getting them back, or your knowledge of past, your secret nuclear missile launch codes, if such former to know about them were to be freakazoided. No. No. Because most of you are fucking insane in the first place and can't properly work non-dimensionality anyhow, as foreseen by nature, and even that is, by my understanding, foreseen so by nature, whether you like it or not. That is the way the universe works. But you are identified as an individual by the universe. You have very limited at best access to non-dimensionality for as long as you're alive. And for as long as you're alive, all of your freakazoids whose configuration genetically of the functional parts physically bio in the brain that are responsible for accessing the non-dimensionality stuff will get barred by your still being alive. And the moment you die, everything that you, the little thing and content that you might have had put into the non-dimensional and might have had accessible to the dimensional will be deleted, and your freakazoids will not have anything. That is what's going on, people. You've been told.